Hey everybody, I'm Stefan for atutspos.com, and this is the second part for the sport graphics tutorial. And in this part we are going to animate all the elements, add some flags right here, probably some titles and stuff like that. So let's jump in and start doing that. First of all, we are going to organize the project a bit. So let's take all our images and let's drop them into folder images, names box 01, oops, and we need to create a different names box for each one, because if we change something here, for example, if we remove the texture image, it will disappear from all the bars right here, and that's not what we want, and we need to put some flags. So let's start and open the first one, take the flag, drop it here and scale it down just like so. And we need to create a composition that we can easily replace the flags. So let's use our guides once again and make the shape of the flag like so. Move this one here, and now let's pre-compose the flag and let's call it flag, oops, flag 01, and hit enter. As you can see, we have our flag here, and the region of interest, we are going to use it to crop the composition to the needed size. So we're going to come to composition, crop comp to region of interest, and we are done. This is cropped, and by default when we do that, the composition comes to the center of the composition that it's in. So we need to move it like so, and now we need to duplicate this 8 times and do the same for the flag composition. And let's organize everything. So it's easier for us to work. And now we need to open the second one and just replace this composition. Oops, we did a mistake, so we need to take our flags out of this folder, and we need to put this composition into basically the flag 02 composition into the names box 02. So there are a few ways to do that. Control Alt and we are going to do that using the Alt key, holding down Alt key and dragging the composition and putting it on top of this one. And we need to open it, come to the flags and set our next flag here, and just I'm using the transform fit to comp height and width. As you can see, Ctrl Alt Shift H and Ctrl Alt Shift G are the shortcuts to do that. And I'm going to do that for all the flags compositions. So let's open the third one, and let's set a different flag here. Let's open the fourth one, set another flag, and do that for the rest. Fifth one, the Italy flag. As you can see, it's very easy to do that and fast, and you can put some logos there or stuff like that. Let's open the flag 8 comp, and we need to tweak the American flag. And now we can close all the compositions, and by the way, I'm closing the windows by hitting Ctrl W. So let's close the folder with the flags, and let's open the names box 3 and replace it with the third flag, and just do that for the rest of them. 4, 5, and we're going to basically do the same thing for our main composition, because we need to replace all the names boxes there with this one. And we are going to do that in a second when we finish this here, just like so, closing the compositions. And now let's come to our main composition, and let's see, this one is the bottom one, so let's start from the top, leave this like so, and start changing them. As you can see, what we are doing. It gets boring already, but the good thing is that we are done with the boring part, and now we can start animate. Let's save our project, and let's see, select our main bar right here, come to effect, transition, linear wipe, and we are going to use linear wipe to transition this, and set the feather to 50 maybe, and set this to 100%, set a keyframe and move 20 frames forward, and set this to 0, and let's preview only this element and see how it reveals. Good enough. We need to select our logo holder, set a keyframe for the scale, set this to 0, move 5 frames forward, set this to 110, and move 10 frames forward and set it to 100% again. Select the keyframe and set it to easy ease, and let's preview, see how it looks like. Probably we can tweak the animation a bit, and it's up to you. Let's see, that's not bad. And now let's animate our top small bar. which is going to reveal at this point here. Just trim the layer, set a keyframe for the position, and move 10 frames forward, set another keyframe, come back to the first and just slide it in just like so, and set this keyframe to easy ease. The shortcut is F9 for doing that. And let's see what else we need to animate. We need to animate this bar here, so we can come to the frame 10, set a keyframe for the position, move 10 frames forward, set another keyframe, set this one to easy ease again, come to the first one and just slide it out of the frame. Another thing, main small bar, this is one thing that we need to animate as well, and just come to this frame here, set a keyframe for it, just trim the layer, move 10 frames forward, set another keyframe, again set it to easy ease, and come to the back, the first frame, and I hit J and K are the shortcuts for moving the current time indicator to the keyframes, and just move it up like so. And let's see how our animation looks like so far. Not bad. And we need to animate the base as well, but before doing that I'm going to create a new solid, and let's call it OF for optical flares, black color, and we are going to use some optical flares to enhance our graphics. And let's see, we are going to use the Pro Presets 2 for this. I think this flare is the flare that I'm going to use, so just remove some iris elements here and there, and it takes a bit of time to see which elements we need to remove. Some glows, and I think this multi iris needs to be removed as well, and we are done. Hit OK, change the blending mode to add, and let's place our flare into the right position, which is right here. Move it to the side, set a keyframe for the position right here, and for the brightness as well. And let's see our main bar. The animation of the main bar ends right here, so we need to swipe our flare here, and let's move 3 frames forward and set the brightness to 100, and move 5 frames before the end and set it to 100. And let's see how it looks like right now. Very good. Let's unsort all the elements and create another composition, which is going to be a full HD comp. Hit OK, and actually we are going to make this 64, and you're going to see why in a minute. Create a white solid, move 10 frames forward, set a keyframe, set it to easy ease, come to the beginning and swipe the layer just like so. Turn on the motion blur and let's see. This is our animation, and let's layer swipe, let's call it just like so, this composition. Create another composition and let's call it main base transition matte, and set this layer here and just move it to the side and just duplicate it, and 32 plus 64, and keep duplicating the layers and adding 64 units each time. And I'm sure that there is easier way to do that, probably with expression or something like that, but I'm not good with the expressions, so I'm going to do this the stupid way, doing it manually, and of course it takes more time and it's more boring, so I'm going to pause the video and come back when I'm done. Here we are after endless duplicating of the layers. I'm ready, and we are going to offset the layers because we have this type of transition right now. So let's Control A to select all the layers, come to File, Scripts, and it's off the screen, Layer Random Shifter, and this is a free script from A Scripts, and let's set this to 5, or let's set this to 8 and this to 8, and hit Shift M, and this is going to shift the layers, as you can see, and let's move them. Like so, and now we have this type of transition, as you can see. And let's close this, come to our main composition, come to our base main, and let's set this to alpha matte. And right now it's a bit boring type of transition, so let's set the rotation to -135 and set the scale to a bigger scale, so it's going to fill everything up. And let's take our names boxes and hide them for a second, and we can start the transition right here. So as you can see, we are going to make a preview and see how our animation looks like. And it's a bit fast, I think. Let's see now how it's going to look like. and probably we need to shift the layers again with left offset, probably 4 and 4, and just shift the layers, select all and swipe them just a bit, and let's make another preview to see how they are going to look like. Much better. And now it's time to animate our names boxes. So we need first of all to turn them all into 3D layers, and one of the reasons that we did them into their own separate composition is that we want the anchor point to be in the center of the layer, and by default this anchor point is there, and we don't need to do that manually for each layer. And let's see, open the rotation, and we are going to animate the X rotation. So we are going to set the layer to this position, set a keyframe, move 10 frames forward, set this to 0, set the keyframe to easy ease, and just trim the layer at the beginning. And now we have this type of animation, and we are going to offset 2 frames forward, trim the next layer, turn it on, and animate the X rotation as well, and set this to easy ease again. Come to the beginning, move 2 frames forward, trim the next layer, set the rotation to -89, move 10 frames forward and set the keyframe to easy ease. And I think you get the basic idea. So I'm going to pause the video, do the boring part, repeating the same process over and over again to animate the rest of the elements, and come back to finish the project. Here we are again. I animated all the elements, so let's take a look at the preview so far, how it looks like. Pretty good. Oops. That's it. We need to add some flares here where our revealing animation happens, but before doing that I'm going to frame 20, select the main bar and type CC white sweep, and I'm going to put a very simple white sweep here. Just move it over, set a keyframe, move 30 frames forward and slide it like so, just to make it more interesting. And now let's make some room here, collapse all the layers and OF names. I'm going to name this layer like so, and just trim it, and we can color code this so it's going to be easier for us to see what is going on in our project. So let's take this flare, just copy and paste it here, move it 10 frames forward and let's set this to add blending mode and take the center, and let's see where is our first box, and it doesn't show for some reason, and that's the reason. Because of this layer we need to set it to add as well. So let's delete the brightness keyframes, set a keyframe for brightness at 100% and 10 frames forward set the brightness to 0, and select our first composition, and we are going to use another guide here to position more easier our flares. And I think I moved some layers here. I'm going to position that right here, and I need to come to the end, so my guides are in the center of the layers. And just take the first flare and set the position here, and it's going to snap right here. Delete this one, just duplicate the layer, change this to orange, move the layer 2 frames forward, excuse me, and set this right here. Duplicate it again, set the color to purple, and by the way, selecting the layer, holding down Alt and page down or page up, it's going to move the layer 1 frame per hitting the key. And so far, as you can see, that's how it looks like. And probably we can reduce the scale of the flares so it's not so over exposed, super bright, as you can see. And probably we can remove the one of the goals right here, the middle goal, this one, and do the same thing for the rest of the flares. And we needed to do that the first time, so let's keep duplicating our flares layer and just move it here, duplicate it again, move it 2 frames forward, and let's set it here and duplicate it again, and let's set it right here, and 2 more times, and we are done with this animation. Set it here, and this is the last one right here. Let's turn off the guides and see our animation. Let's make a preview. Looks good. And now, I mentioned in the beginning of the first tutorial that I'm going to show you how to create kind of a controller which is going to control how you change the colors of everything. So let's come to layer, new object, and let's rename it to controller. Come to effect, expression controls, cover control, and let's duplicate it, top cover and bottom cover. And what we need to do is to open the logo holder, for example, and drag it like so, and we need our controller here, and we are going to link our ramp start cover to the top cover, and we are going to set our top cover to this one and our bottom cover to this one. Turn on the expression again and link it like so, and close the logo holder. And now you can see that if I take this color, I can change it to a reddish color, for example, and it's going to update. And let's open the logo holder, and just I did a mistake right here. I need to link the end color. Oops, it's pain working on such a small resolution on only one monitor. Just going to try to link it like so, and now if I select my controller, I can choose a dark reddish color for the end core and a brighter red for the top. And basically, if you do that for each composition, you can change the whole color scheme in a second with a few clicks. And basically you need to link your ramp start and end points for the names bar compositions before you duplicate them in the project panel. So when you duplicate them, the ramp is already linked and you won't have any problems, and you won't waste time doing that again. So this is it. And if you decide to put some logos, for example, not flags or something like that, you can open the names box here, turn off the flag, turn off the shadow, or you can even don't turn off the shadow, just set the first mask to none and put your logo here. And basically that's it. You need to repeat this step 8 times or more, depending of the number of your bars here, and you can basically put something else, logos, information and stuff like that, like you saw in the preview. And let's type something, for example, that's was the best place to boost your skills. And let's position the title here. We are going to use some layer styles like gradient overlay, inner shadow and drop shadow. And it's very easy to do that. Let's set the drop shadow to normal and increase the opacity to 100%. Set the distance and size to 1. Set the gradient overlay and the start color to be like so, and the end to be completely white almost. And let's set the distance to 3 and the size to 2. So we have this nice title here, and you can animate it using some presets or animate it by yourself. And let's come to the images, open our logo holder and put the A Tuts Plus logo here. Like so. And you can add some glow by duplicating the logo and just using a fast blur and set the blending mode to add, to do something like that, and add more titles and stuff you want. And basically that's it for this project. And the second tutorial went a bit longer again than I expected, but hope this tutorial was interesting for you and give you some ideas how you can create some amazing, very cool graphics like this. And that's it. Once again, I'm Stefan for atutspus.com, and we'll see you next time.